Hey guys, my name is Em and welcome back to my channel. So I'm very excited for today's video because it is my favorite video of all time. It is a 24-hour readathon vlog. I absolutely love a 24-hour readathon. You know that by this stage. But this time I'm hosting a readathon with the amazing Mel from Melissa Dimmer. I will tag her down in the description box. But I am so excited to be doing it. We were just chatting the other day about how we both love 24-hour readathons and they hit different in the summer and that we should do one together. And then we decided to do it this weekend. So it is Saturday the 2nd of July. The readathon starts at 3 p.m. today until 3 p.m. tomorrow, which is in like 5 minutes, so I really have to hurry up with this intro because we're going on reading sprints on Mel's channel at 3. I will also be attempting the timer method for this readathon, which if you don't know, you kind of like set a stopwatch every time that you're reading and then you stop it every time you're not reading and then try get as close to 24 hours of actual reading as you can. So I'm going to be attempting to do that, but I'm going to be trying to keep it as close to 3 p.m. tomorrow as I can, but I may have to like go a little bit after if I like take some breaks or like to account for my sleeping time and stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited for this readathon. Let me show you my TBR really quickly and then I'm going to hop on sprints with Mel. Okay, so the first book I'm going to be reading is Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. This is the book that I'm currently reading and I'm actually like 70% of the way through, so I only have like 150 pages left of this, so I'm definitely going to be able to finish it. But this is a mafia romance series. I'm loving it. I will give you my full thoughts once I finish it and everything. Then I actually have some thriller books, which I always like reading for readathons because they're so fast paced and you just kind of keep reading and keep turning the page. So the one that I have is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. This is basically about this college reunion and this group of friends where one of them was murdered and I think the wrong person was framed for the crime and they kind of like are holding secrets and stuff, and then at this college reunion everything kind of like comes out or something. I really don't know, but it looks so intriguing and it is short enough as well, so I think this will be my second read. Then I do have another thriller actually. I have Never Coming Home by Kate Williams. This is like a YA thriller I think, about these 10 influencers who go to this like really exclusive island resort. It's like all paid for and you can only get in if you're invited, and there's like all of these secrets because every single one of these influencers has a huge dark secret that they would do anything to not be revealed. That's the premise of that book. It sounds so amazing. It sounds like a Love Island on crack, so I'm very excited. Then if I want to switch up the pace, I do have an audiobook as well, and I am listening to Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a reread for me, but I have like less than 2 hours left in the audiobook, so I think I will be trying to finish this book during this readathon because I have some like bullet journaling to do and stuff, so I'm very excited to read this. Then finally we have The Roommate by Rosie Dannon. I have zero clue what this book is about, but it is short, it is fun, it is a rom-com, and it looks really sweet. So yeah, that is my very ambitious TBR for this readathon. I am so excited. I've got to go really quickly now because I have to go join reading sprints, but I'm so excited. Welcome to the vlog, welcome to the readathon. Let's get reading. Hi besties. Okay, it is now 4:50 in the afternoon, so we're like almost 2 hours into the readathon and I've just finished my first book. Also Misty is on my lap, but yeah, I have finished my first book. I finished Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. I loved this book so much. Miko and Nessa are the best couple. I love them so much, but I said the same about Callum and Ada from the first book, so I just love this series with my whole heart. I'm actually giving this book a 5-star. Like, I can't pick out anything that I didn't like about it, so it has to be a 5-star. So I have now read 115 pages. My stopwatch is on 43 minutes of reading, so 115 pages in 43 minutes is really good. If I haven't explained what Stolen Air is about, it is basically the second book in a mafia series, so like all of the books are kind of connected and the characters know each other, and in this one Miko kidnaps Nessa to take revenge because Nessa's family has killed his father, and then the relationship kind of stems from there. It's also a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I don't think I've mentioned that before, but it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling and you can definitely see that. Like, they make a lot of references to it. I can't really say too much more about it, but it is so good and the writing just makes it go so fast. Like, I would highly recommend this series. Now I need to pick up my next book. I think I'm going to pick up In My Dreams I Hold a Knife because this is the other main book that I really wanted to pick up. I think Lucy's going to read this book with me as well once she finishes The Paris Apartment, so that is really nice. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on sprints for, but I think after that I might see about like ordering a Chinese takeaway. it is now 6:42 in the evening and I've just gotten off sprints with Mel. We had the best time. It was so much fun. Everybody in the chat was amazing and I actually read so much. So right now I'm actually about to go walk and collect some food, so I'm going to take like a little break, but I think while I'm walking I'm going to listen to the audiobook of Daisy Jones, or maybe even if I can find the audiobook for this, because it's a slower read than I thought. Now I am only at the start of the book, so I'm trying to give myself a bit of like leeway for the fact that like it's okay that I'm not like speeding through it. I'm only on like chapter 4 or something, but I have to say like it is a bit slower than I thought. The font is quite small as well, so I'm gonna see if I can find an audiobook for this for my walk, or if I can't then I will listen to the audiobook of Daisy Jones just so that like I'm continuing to read. So yeah, I'm gonna go right now. I'll come back to you when I have more reading updates. Okay besties, it is now 9:30 in the evening and I did take a little break, but I am back to reading right now. I did decide to continue In My Dreams I Hold a Knife and I'm now on page like 57. Honestly, I'm kind of not liking this book and I don't know why. It's just like everything seems to be going over my head in this book. Like we have two timelines. We have the present day when they're at the college reunion and they're like reuniting after this horrible thing has happened 10 years previous, but then we have like the past when they're like best friends in college and stuff. But it's really hard to follow and there's so many characters in it that they're really hard to differentiate, and I feel like the author is writing them as if we're supposed to know who these people are and we're supposed to know their personalities and like who likes who and who is with who and who's like betraying who, but we kind of don't know anything like that. And I know it's early on in the book, like maybe I will be more intrigued by it, but I'm kind of just like not really vibing with it, and it's kind of making me not want to read because I'm not engaged in the book that I'm reading. So I'm feeling a little bit tired right now, so I think I'm actually going to listen to a bit of the audiobook for Daisy Jones and the Six. I have an hour and a half left in that audiobook, so I think I'm actually just going to listen to that for a while, maybe for like 20 minutes, half an hour, and maybe like just play some games on my phone or like color in on my phone. I have like a coloring app that I use, and then I'll decide whether I want to continue with this book or if I want to pick up another book and like change pace and stuff. But to check on my timer, I've been reading for an hour and 53 minutes so far and I've read like 170 pages, I think, maybe 200 pages, I don't know, but yeah. It is 1 a.m. I look like I've been dragged through a bush backwards. Like I literally, the mascara is under my eyes. I've been listening to a bit of Daisy Jones and the Six. I have like 50 minutes left in that audiobook, so I think I'm gonna finish that in the morning when I'm getting ready because I have a birthday party tomorrow. And yeah, I will get back to you tomorrow. I'm going to go to sleep. Hi besties, I know the lighting is absolutely atrocious here, so please ignore it, but I'm not pulling out the ring light. So it is now Sunday night and the official 24-hour readathon has ended at 3 p.m. today. It's now like 8:40 in the evening. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to read as much during the actual 24-hour period as I thought I would, because I actually ended up going to a birthday party today and I was gone since 2 p.m. and I just got back like a few minutes ago. But as I said, I am doing the timer method, so I am going to continue this readathon for the next little while until I can reach as close to 24 hours as I can. But this morning I actually did start and finish a book. I read The Tiger in the Mountains, I think that's what it's called, by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I really liked this book. It was a super short book on Kindle Unlimited. There's like 6 books in this series. It was inspired by Sylvia's grandmother or great-grandmother in the Mexican Revolution, and a time where a tiger came to their village and like they were in the mountains and stuff, and it was really interesting. It was very, very short and I rated it 3 stars because I feel like I couldn't give it more than that because it was so short, but also I really enjoyed it. Also, I was listening to some of the audiobook for Daisy Jones. I have like 40 minutes left in that audiobook, I think, so I'm definitely going to finish that in the morning as well. But then I decided to continue on with In My Dreams I Hold a Knife because I wasn't ready to quite give up on this book, even though I wasn't 100% loving it last night. And let me tell you, I am so glad that I continued reading because this book is incredible. Like once I got through the first couple chapters, there was a lot of characters, a lot of names I didn't understand, a lot of kind of like fraternities and sororities that were like shortened down into abbreviations, and it literally felt like I was reading another language. But once I got past that, once I got to the actual like thriller element and the mystery element. I am obsessed with this thriller. I'm currently on chapter 16, which is page 118, and I literally did not want to put this book down today. It's now almost 9 p.m, so I think I'm going to go watch Love Island because it's Casa Amor week, and then I think I'm actually going to just get into bed and read this book for the rest of the evening. I am kind of hoping to finish it tonight, honestly, because it is a fast enough book to do that, and it's just over 300 pages, so I feel like it could be possible. But if not finish it, then I'll get a good bit of the way in and then I'll finish it in the morning. But this is so good. I am at 3 hours 40 minutes. I haven't decided what book I'm going to pick up after this, but we'll figure that out when we get there. But yeah, I'm gonna go read this, gonna watch Love Island, and I'll get back to you later. Reading update time. So I have now managed to finish In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I absolutely loved this book. I literally sat down this morning and I read from like page 100 where I was at until the very end. Like, I could not stop reading. It was so addictive. I absolutely loved this book and everything about it. I would highly recommend this thriller. It was more of kind of like a mystery, more kind of like a dark academia almost setting, even though like it was set at like a college reunion when they're like in their 30s, but there was two timelines, and you got when they were in their 30s, like kind of trying to solve which one of the friends actually did kill Heather, but then we also got flashbacks to when they were in college and why they all kind of had different secrets going on and different suspicions going on and different things going on. And I just literally could not stop reading this book, because as soon as like you finished a present day chapter, it would like end on a cliffhanger, but then there would be a past chapter, so you'd need to read the past chapter to get to the next present chapter because you need to know what happens. But at the end of the past chapter there would also be a cliffhanger, and you need then to read the next past chapter to just kind of keep figuring out what's going on. I really ended up loving this book, and Lucy loved it too, and we were like talking about our feelings the whole way through this book, and it was amazing. I ended up rating this one a 4.5 star. I don't know why I didn't give it a full 5, but I think it was just because it took me about like 50 to 70 pages to actually get into the book. I think it was like chapter 9 when I fully got into the book and fully kind of like was invested in what was happening, because before that there was just a lot of characters, a lot of names, a lot of sororities, a lot of like random information in there that I didn't know what to do with because I did not know who these people were. It didn't give me the 5-star feeling, and I feel like when it's a 5-star book, you know it's a 5-star book, but still 4.5 stars is incredible, and like I would highly recommend this book. So I'm currently at 5 hours 51 minutes on my timer, which is amazing, and I've currently read 457 pages. Right now I'm actually going to do my bullet journal spreads for July because I haven't done them yet, and it's July 4th and I really need to do them. But while I do those bullet journal spreads, I'm going to listen to the audiobook of Daisy Jones and the Six, because I've got like 50 minutes left in that book I think, so I'm definitely going to finish that this evening, and then I will try and pick out my next like physical read. I honestly don't know what I want to read next because I'm still in the thriller mood, and I'm kind of like, why am I still in the thriller mood? Like, it's literally July, I should be reading romances.
I never knew why Daisy left exactly. When was that night that show? Way up in years. That stubbornness also really paid off. I wouldn't wish that disease on anything, but I was determined to take it as an opportunity. Be home to raise your girls so they know what I'm doing. Having your partner on your side. To land the day she like to go grabbing it. It was the home she always wanted. I feel so lucky to have met you that more.
Okay, it is now just after 11 p.m. and I have just finished my 4th book of this 24-hour readathon. I've just finished Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I actually forgot how emotional this book was, especially the ending. Needless to say, I gave it 5 stars. This was just an incredible experience start to finish, because this was a reread for me. I read it for the first time back in April of 2019, which was a long time ago when you think of it. So though I remembered the main premise of the book, obviously I didn't remember all of the details and I didn't remember the ending. I just was getting so emotional towards the end of this book. It's so beautiful, it's so amazing. Taylor Jenkins Reid just has a magical power to write books. I remember when I was reading this for the first time and I was like so convinced that this was like a biography, like this was like an autobiography. I genuinely do think that at one stage I googled the band to like see what their songs were like or what they look like or something like that. Like I genuinely think I did that, because the way that Taylor writes them is just so realistically, and I just loved it so much. And this time I actually listened to it on audio, and I would 100% recommend the audiobook. Everybody always says listen to the audiobook for this book, but they're so right, because the audiobook of this book is literally a whole other experience. Like, it feels so immersive. It is just so beautiful. I just love this book so much. I can't really say much about this book because I'm sure at this stage everybody knows what it's about, but if you don't, it's like basically this famous band in the 70s called Daisy Jones and the Six, and it's basically like the first time that they've given an interview since they broke up back in the 70s, and that ending just had me almost in tears because I just loved it so much. And I would definitely recommend this book if you've not read it already. If you haven't read Evelyn Hugo, you need to. That's another one that I really wanted to reread actually, because I want to annotate Evelyn Hugo. But yeah, I am giving this a 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. So at the start of this readathon I was on page 204 in this book, and there's like 381 pages in the book, so I read a total of 177 pages from this book. So to check on our page count, I am at 635 pages and I've completed 4 books, and my timer isn't even on 7 hours. So if I continue this to 24 hours, I feel like I'm gonna beat a personal record of how much I can read, but I'm not gonna drag this readathon on too long, so we're just gonna see how quickly I can get to that 24 hours. I really want to pick up another book tonight actually, even though it is late, but I'm kind of in the reading mood since I finished 2 books today, so I kind of want to pick up another book. Me and Lucy are going to do another buddy read. We're actually going to buddy read Maid by Nita Prose. But yeah, I am really happy with my progress in the readathon so far. 600 pages in 7 hours is fairly impressive, I think. Hi besties. Okay, so it has been a while since I updated you last. I think I'm pretty much on the same stopwatch. I'm on 7 hours 25 minutes, maybe like a couple minutes in between. However, I have picked out 2 books now that I'm currently reading. So the physical book that I'm reading is Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I don't know why, but I felt like reading this book. I'm on chapter 6, which is page 76, and it's like 350 pages in the book. I'm really liking this book actually. I'm liking this more than I liked the first one, which I think is a fairly unpopular opinion. I think it's more so that like most people prefer the first one and don't really love this one, but I actually kind of prefer this one so far. I'm at the very like start of the book. The next book that I'm currently reading is another buddy read with my bestie Lucy. We have been buddy reading books back to back for the last couple of weeks, and I honestly love it so much. It is so slay, it is so girl boss, and the book that we decided to pick up is The Maid by Nita Prose. I decided to audiobook this book. I was this close to buying a physical copy, but I'm really trying not to buy books. But tomorrow I'm actually heading to Dublin, but it is like an hour and a half on the train either way, so I'm hoping to like maybe physically read, maybe listen to the audiobook. So I'm hoping to read a lot tomorrow basically and get like a good few hours up on my timer. That's kind of my update for right now. They're the 2 books that I'm currently reading. I will come back to you later with an update, and yeah. Hi besties. Okay, it has been a while since I have updated you, but I thought I would just give you a quick little readathon update because yes, I am still doing the readathon. We are getting very close to the end though, so we're going good. I'm currently at 13 hours 47 minutes of solid reading. I have finished a book since I spoke to you last. I finished The Stranger in Seat 8B. It was like a 100-page novella on Kindle Unlimited, so it was good, it was fun. So I gave it a 3-star. Really nothing special, but like it doesn't need less than a 3-star either. And then I've kind of abandoned Hook, Line and Sinker, but I'm just still not in the romance book mood, which is so strange because it is literally the hottest day of the year, but I'm just still not in the romance mood, which I thought would change as soon as the sun came out, but like no, it hasn't. But let me tell you the 2 books that I am currently reading. I did actually start The Maid by Nita Prose with Lucy from Library of Lucy. I'm listening to this on audiobook and it's such like a charming book. I wouldn't say it's like the most thrilling book I've ever read or even like the most exciting mystery I've ever read, but it is fun, and Molly as a character is really interesting, really sweet. I'm fairly sure that Molly is neurodivergent or on the spectrum of some sort. You're basically reading like how she processes the world and how she kind of like takes in different things. Because of that, people are taking advantage of her, and we can see that people are taking advantage of her and people are kind of like mistreating her, but she doesn't see it. She thinks they're being really sweet, and it's just kind of like, it hurts your heart a little bit. You kind of just want to like take her and say like, Molly, they're not nice people. Like, apart from that, I'm really liking that book. I have like 3.5 hours left on that audiobook, so I will hopefully finish that tonight. And then the other book that I'm reading is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. I don't know why on the like the hottest week of the year I decided to read a high fantasy, but I did decide to pick this book up, and I'm on page 100, which is chapter 12. It's really good. It obviously is a bit slower to read because it's fantasy, so there's like a lot of words in it that kind of like need to be understood, and like a lot of world building and stuff, so like naturally it is taking me that little bit longer to read. But this edition is so pretty. It's the Illumicrate edition. So my plan for today is to sit outside and read, so I might read a few chapters of this today, but I'm not able to read like a huge amount of it in one go because this is actually my first fantasy read since February when I read House of Sky and Breath. So I might just read like another couple chapters of this, and then I might switch over to like a Kindle book. But yeah, that is my update for right now. I'm almost on 14 hours of reading. Hi besties, I am finally coming on here to end out this video. It feels like forever since I started it, and honestly I am exhausted. I've just hit 24 hours of reading, 24 hours and 12 minutes to be exact, but we've reached the 24 hours. I feel like this is a major accomplishment. I feel like this is a milestone of some sort, but honestly it is so much more difficult than you would imagine to get 24 hours of solid reading. It is a lot of words. I don't know when I'm going to attempt this challenge next. If you guys do really like it, let me know and I may do another one before the summer is over. I feel like towards the second half of the readathon I just started to lose steam so much, and I just got so exhausted, and I'm kind of in a bit of a reading slump now. But you live and you learn, because towards the second half of the readathon I didn't know what book to pick up. I didn't know what I wanted to read, so I was kind of just reading like 50 pages out of one book, 100 pages out of another book, and that's just not very productive for a readathon because the goal I suppose is to finish books. But I'm still very proud of my progress. I'm going to do a quick wrap up of everything I read and then how many pages that was. So the first book I read during this readathon was Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. I read 115 pages of this and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I can't wait to continue with the series. Then I read The Tiger Came to the Mountains by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I gave this one a 3 star. It was 28 pages. As it was so short I can't really give it too much of a review, but it was whimsical. It was an enjoyable book. Then next I finished Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I listened to this book on audiobook. I gave this a 5 out of 5 star. Obviously this book is everything to me and I just love it so much, and I read 177 pages of this. Then moving on to pretty much the only physical book I read during this readathon, which was In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I really liked this book. I gave it a 4.5 star. I do really recommend this thriller if you're looking for kind of like that dark academia thriller mystery vibe. Loved it so much. It was a really good book and I read it with Lucy and we had a great time reading it. Would 100% recommend this. So yeah, I gave this a 4.5 star and this was 315 pages. The next thing I read was The Stranger in Seat 8B by Nikki Castle. I gave this book a 3 star. I think it was just kind of average for me. Like sometimes a 3 star can be like a good rating, sometimes it can be not a great rating. I feel like this was not a great rating, but at the same time I didn't want to rate it any lower because it was a 100-page novella. There's not much that you can kind of like read into. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It was good. It was 120 pages. Then next up I read The Maid by Nita Prose. I listened to this book on audiobook. What I will say about it, because I know I haven't really spoken too much about it yet, what I will say about this book is that it's like, it's a charming read. It's a cute little read, but at no time during this book was I on the edge of my seat. Was I kind of anticipating what was to come? I was enjoying the atmosphere of it. I was enjoying kind of like the aesthetic of it, and I loved Molly as a character, but also I feel like at some stages in the book she was being taken advantage of so badly, and it kind of hurt to read in a way. But it was a good book and I would kind of recommend listening to the audiobook. I would nearly call this more of like a cozy mystery rather than a thriller, but it's not a cozy mystery, but like it's closer to that than it is to like a thriller. But that was 352 pages, and at this point in the readathon I kind of hit a wall. I picked up many different books. I started with Hook, Line and Sinker. I started with 2 books on my Kindle. I just couldn't get into any book, so I decided to pick up We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. Now, was picking up a 500-page fantasy a very good idea for a 24-hour readathon? No, it was not, especially considering the fact that I haven't finished a fantasy book since February when I read House of Sky and Breath. I did not manage to finish this book or even make it very far into it. I am on page 100. It is a really good book. It is a really enjoyable read. I'm so intrigued to keep going. Like, I love the characters, I love the world, I love love the magic system, I love the plot. Like, I'm really genuinely enjoying this book. And yeah, that is everything that I read. So I finished 6 books and then I read 100 pages of my 7th book. In total that was 1,207 pages, which I am really proud of. I feel like that's a fairly good page count. I gave it my all. I made it 24 hours. I think that's the first time that I actually made it to the 24 hours. If you made it to the end, comment the sun emoji. Once again, I'll leave all the links to my social media and my Amazon wishlist down in the description box, along with the link to my Patreon if you want to get some exclusive content from me. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay amazing, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.